So in the eyes of many Zelda fans, this is a very glorious time. The IP is more popular than it's ever been before, and the highly anticipated Legend of Zelda movie is expected to drop on May 7th, 2027. Many people are beyond thrilled that this movie is even in development. And I'm not gonna lie, ever since I was a little kid going through Ocarina of Time for the first time, I've been imagining the Legend of Zelda series hitting the big screen. Then in the early 2000s, the Lord of the Rings trilogy dropped, and those instantly became my favorite films of all time. That's when I pictured beautiful live-action landscape shots of Hyrule, and an epic orchestra playing some of our favorite Zelda classics as Link goes on his epic adventure. Well, it turns out Shigeru Miyamoto had the same vision that I did, even down to the point of them electing to film the whole thing in New Zealand, just like Lord of the Rings did. But therein lies my deep concern. Although I admire that Miyamoto and Nintendo have the guts to make a live-action film, to say that the expectations are monumental would be a massive understatement. Outside of Mario, Link is the face of the company. Millions of fans all over the world adore this franchise, as it has constantly produced many of the highest-rated games in video game history. The problem is, that isn't quite as easy to achieve in the film industry. Although monetarily, the Mario Bros. Movie was a massive success, critically speaking, the movie was received with very mixed reactions. And when you look at video games being adapted to film, the track record is riddled with mediocrity, disappointments, and flat-out abominations. In one sense, we could look at The Legend of Zelda's movie release as a success if it was recognized as even a decent film. But the problem is, that's not the general hope or expectation that I'm seeing online. Not even close. In order for this movie to truly live up to its name, Lord of the Rings type quality is what's desired. And there hasn't been a fantasy film as good as Lord of the Rings since Lord of the Rings, which was released 2 decades ago. It might not be an impossible task to satisfy the fandom with a film that lives up to its video game standard, but it's as close to being impossible as it can get. Nintendo has never done this kind of thing before. There's no period of trial and error. There isn't a strike 1, strike 2, and a strike 3. But if Nintendo botches their first live-action film of the NCU, it's strike 1, you're out. Now from a more optimistic angle, it's not like Nintendo has really botched any of their decisions leading up to this moment. Choosing Wes Ball as the director made sense for several reasons. Digging into the history of this guy's social media pages, it's pretty clear that he's been a genuine Legend of Zelda fan for a very long time. He's also someone who's handled films in the past that share a similar heavy and gritty tone to many of the Zelda games. Plus, his movies have displayed some of the epic skill necessary for a Zelda movie. Then there's the solid casting choices, which fans were almost universally pleased with. And when it comes to the things that they're saying about the film, they at the very least seem to have a solid and grounded approach. At the very least, there's reasons for me to have a contained smidge of hope. But if I was a betting man, I would put a lot of money down on them not reaching this absurdly high expectation that will almost certainly leave the fandom in an underwhelmed state. I hope so deeply that I'm wrong, and I'll admit if I was wrong. But as far as this becoming one of the great cinematic masterpieces of our time, I'll believe it when I see it. So what do you guys think? Do you think the movie will live up to the standards set by the games? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more Zelda and Metroid content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.